the person and the soulmate is going to know what you need even when you don't. Sometimes you just need a friend. Like, I don't need you to be my lover right now. I don't even need you to be my husband right now. I just need you to talk to me and tell me this is what's up. Welcome back to another episode of the Purpose and Powerful Podcast. I'm your host, Erica Lester, along with my co-host,
the real Jurbil. How's it going?
Good evening. And we are talking tonight about the soulmate search. And what does that entail? Well, you are not just looking for any old love or any old partner. You are looking for the ideal partner. So as your host, we weathered some storms. I mean, Jurbil has a prize because he's remarried. We talked a little bit about prior episodes about divorce and coming up with the process of discovering more about yourself and also repositioning for love. And now we're transitioning to talk about finding the ideal mate, that soulmate. Now, soulmates, people overdo this a little bit. My personal definition is about, I have some situations where people say, I know it was this person when this happened. And everyone's not going to have, first of all, everyone's not going to have the met and love at first sight scenario. You're going to have to run through a few things, a few people to get to that. And again, it's about self-discovery. So whether it was luck, blessing, or what have you, and some people think that they have the ideal mate for 30 years and then find out that, they've been miserable for the last 20 and they couldn't wait to offload you. So, mate, again, my personal opinion is the right person at the right time that not answers your today needs and desires, but the ones that you haven't anticipated about the storms you will encounter in life. And you want to have the right person rocking with you as a partner that can hold it down, who is still going to remember you, who you are, even when things get tough. And not give you a pass, but hold you accountable, but also hold your hands and see you through. So for me, in our prior episode, we talked about the one that got away. And so what I'll say to that effect is, I did say to this person, I feel like they were my soulmate, right? Because no matter how many bumps in the road we've hit, we still remind each other of who we are. So that last divorce situation was very devastating for me. And he said this thing to me is like, he was very strong. And strength for me is different. So he said, Erica, you're not going to probably think that this is good advice or what I'm about to tell you next about this. And I know this is really hard for you right now, but here's what I want to tell you is, I know you're hurting, but in time, he's going to realize his mistake. And here's what I need you to do. Don't take him back. I know that sounds crazy that he's going to even want to come back. I know he just like dusted you off and made this such a heartbreaking situation. And I know you want to be married and you're disappointed, but don't take him back because he is definitely going to want to come back. And I thought, no way. Like, he's moved on with the mistress, blah, blah, blah. He's not going to want to come back. But, true to his word, that man tried to come back and I remembered it. I was like this. But not only that, so when I would talk about different scenarios that I encounter in any relationship, and he's like, if we were together, this is my stance on it. And this is why. Like, that's not a bad person. That's not a bad man. And maybe he's thinking this. I'm thinking he probably responded in this way because of this. But real talk, he just doesn't know you. You don't need all that. Like, I know you've expressed to him, you don't need all that. And it is true. The person and the soulmate is going to know what you need even when you don't. Like, sometimes you just need a friend. Like, I don't need you to be my lover right now. I don't even need you to be my husband right now. I just need you to talk to me and tell me this is what's up, right? So that's my personal, what is a soulmate? What do you think about what a soulmate truly represents for you, the real Jurbil?
All right. Well, a soulmate, I think of a person who you know, no matter what, you want to go back to. You'll go back. Now, I don't know if always the soulmate is the person that you're supposed to be with. That's up for grabs because people are married. Just because they're married doesn't mean they're with their soulmate, and they stay married forever. And their soulmate, you end up not even being with the soulmate. So I think that it's like just like a best friend. Sometimes people say, I want to marry my best friend. Does that always happen? Is usually that your best friend? Because marriage is more about a decision, but soulmates and other things, that's more about making certain provisions for a person. So you got decision versus provision. And with the soulmates, what I found, and it's unfortunate it happens like this, but it's true. You'll make provisions for a soulmate, somebody that you're not really supposed to be with. You know that, but you still kind of on the edge. And I think that we have to, at this point, start deciding soulmate versus husband and wife, because we're using these terms just like best friend, BFF, my homie, and you're close to these people, but that's not your husband and wife. And so that's why I said it can become very dangerous. It's fascinating, but you got to determine, do you want a soulmate or you want your husband or wife? Because there is a difference.
Definitely. I believe that the things that I've seen make marriages last, and especially for lengthy periods of time, is that person says, they're my best friend. They discover that because they discover how to separate. I don't need you to be my husband right now. I need you to be my friend. I need you to be my wife right now. I need you to be my friend, and just always keep it real and keep it honest with them and be transparent and be vulnerable. And that's what ends up being traits. But I really truly believe, just like in my situation in my life, I don't think that your soulmate's always the person that you end up with, the person that you're married to. It's just that's one person that understands. And while you have an element of some sort of intimacy, whether it's the length of the friendship or the nuances of the friendship, I think that's just more about proximity. So your soulmate doesn't even have to be the partner that you actually are romantic with. Just that person that always keeps it real and keeps you grounded is really what that's about. Now, we talked a little bit about lists and different things like that. And I alluded to my list really came from avoiding people I don't like and really picking up on traits and people that I find admirable and are the trademarks of a good person. And I think it's important that even no matter how you characterize people, you wouldn't want to marry somebody that you wouldn't want to be your soulmate. How about that? So, and you wouldn't want to marry or date somebody that you wouldn't consider to be a good person. So I think it's always best to know what is it that you need. But remember, God is going to, yeah, you can think about what you're going to want. You also need to consider what you need, because God's going to fill the needs. Never going to put really two people, if he's in it, that are really alike together. They complement and complete things in each other is who he ends up putting you with. And then we also have to remember that it's not everyone's destiny to be married. And you have to deal with that. You have to find and discover. Now, I'm not claiming that. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna be remarried. Let's just keep it real, keep it 100. But just knowing that, look, love comes and starts from within. It's not going to be like, oh, the real Jurbil, that's my man, and he loves me, so I love myself. No, I love me, and that is going to help me learn him. And I still have to leave room. And I'm saying him, like my future partner, not the real Jurbil. Real Jurbil is married, y'all. Let's remember that. And this lovely wife, Takesha, right? The him or the her or whoever your partner is going to be, that you have to make space for them to teach you how they need to be loved. It's like if I say my favorite car is a Maserati, which it's not, but just as an example, and you go get me a Toyota Camry, you missed my love all the way. Now, maybe a Toyota is all you could afford, and that's okay. Hey, babe, it's like, I thought about you, so about your car, but don't try to sell that bag of goods to me like this is the car for you. This is the one you really want. So it's about leaving room, time, and space for the person to come in and prove to you or evolve into that soulmate. It's all about communication. And that's when you'll know. And you won't even know right then. But I've had years in history of time to say, this is a trait or personality that works for me in a relationship, or that person really pushes me. Okay, one thing about it that I learned about along the way that I didn't even know, the best partners for me are the people that'll hold me accountable to the things that I said I would do, the actions I said I would take, and the person I said I will become. And when they remind me of that, and they're like, well, you said, or you said you want to do that, or you told me you was going to do that, because it's the type of person of accountability that I expect from someone else too. You got to give people what you expect from them. You have to be willing to give it to them also. Can't just be, there are no double standards in true love. So don't sign someone up for someone to be willing to do something you yourself are not. And we can go so many places with that. Look, boy meets girl or whatever, or however relationship makeup is not the end all be all. You have to consistently adjust to what does the bedroom life look like? We're real on this show, right? What does our communication look like? And intimacy starts outside the bedroom. Like you have to get into the nuances of what is a true relationship and look at every area. And we think we lose people. Like the real Jurbil has been very open and transparent about what men truly look for, what they truly desire, what they truly want. And while you're thinking you're great because you can cook, clean, and whatever, there are other areas you need to think about and consider and ask him too. One thing that I came away with, I was having a conversation with some people last week, is I needed to come up with that one true question that hit 4 or 5 areas for me. Because, evaluating someone where they are spiritually, what are their true moral grounding beliefs is this question. What have you been praying for to God about that you need or want in a wife? Wow, that's going to tell me if the man is even thinking about marriage, if he's thinking of marriages in the cards, if he wants to be married, does he have a spiritual relationship? What is his prayer life? One question to do that. And I can ask that question on the second or third date. We don't have to go and be dating and marrying people or linked up with people for 5 years, hoping to be that wife. We don't need to be that. You don't need to do that. Don't invest time. Sit with yourself. Figure out what are the things that you want. What are the things that you need. Form questions so that you can ask that ideal person if they meet where you're going. And don't think you're going to change their mind. Don't think they said they don't want children, I can convince them. No, they probably really don't want any kids. And you have to be okay with it. You have to be comfortable. What do you think about it?
I mean, I agree. I believe that you have to think about the person and wondering and asking you, because I'm wondering, do you think it's a fate when you get your soulmate, or do you think it's by chance? I mean, how do you, when you look at the soulmate, how would you feel it in finding that right partner? Do you think that that's something that just, I mean, from your experience?
My experience, I think you meet by chance, but as we learned, as the real Jurbil taught us on the last show, if you're willing to let ego skip out of the way, you know what? You could possibly have an opportunity that you didn't know anything about. And it's also too, it's like, maybe it doesn't have the packaging that you wanted. Maybe it doesn't have enough zeros in the salary. But guess what? You should be character first and then check off the boxes of does he have this later? Like really endeavor to get to know somebody. Like Jurbil said, what's your favorite color? What do you like to do? What do you think about doing? What's your next 5 to 10? Like those may seem cliched statements or questions, but this is real life. This is not a game. And the moment you get past 30, it's super serious. You don't want to be spending the next 10, 20 years of your life with this person that you thought you were going to marry and you find out it's never gone further, yet you're not together. And the first person he links up with, they're married in 6 months. And it's true. It's real. It happens. So don't get caught up. Like I said, don't get caught up in your ego because you can miss out on a great person. I just am blessed and positioned enough to say that the person's still part of my life, right? But that is rare. That normally doesn't happen. They're out, relationship is done, and you didn't have anything. But you know what? I can tell you this. We endeavored to build a friendship first. That's why we're still connected.
And I agree.
Go in and you're like, I just came in to meet this person, to date this person, and it's all romance. You don't have that person in your life and you don't have a friendship either. So that's why it's over when it's over. Well, if you become friends first, you're gonna have longevity. Yes, that's gonna take time. Yeah, you want to boo right now, but hold on. This is your life. This is real life. So you coming in gung ho, all hot and blazing, because you want somebody to land next to you, but you're gonna be missing out on the long-term goal, trying to be quick.
So waiting is worth it. Waiting is worth it.
Waiting is worth it. And you know what? You need to determine what that wait length of period looks like for you. And sometimes you do have to like hold on and hang in there because could be a few situations. But I think that's when you really need to be transparent and be open and talk with one another about,
Mhm.
I'm willing to wait for you under these circumstances, but I gotta tell you how I feel right now. And I need to know how you feel right now. And then because what my experience has been, men are not that transparent, unfortunately. But that's ego. They're not going to tell you how they feel about you, and they're going to tell you where they put you either. So, like we learned in our very first, if you're a Barbie or you're for right now or for this month or for this week, you need better know if you're the flavor of the week, the month, or whatever, so that you can operate differently. Don't sit around and imagine because you like the way he says your name and he calls you and it makes you laugh. And everything's great in those first 90 days. When you get past the 6 months, now you're really dealing with the real person. And now you're mad because the representative is there because you didn't wait. You're all hot in the pants and you're like, I want to sleep with you right now and all this stuff. And you got return to sender blues. He is not who he said he is. She is not who she professed herself to be. And you, again, we sleep with people, women do, because of an expression of how we feel. That man wasn't even feeling that. And now you're mad, you're sad because he doesn't feel the same way because it was just sex. Ask some questions, do some research. Now, I'm not the one that's like, I'm gonna Google you and all that. I believe in meeting people authentically, but you just have to determine this is my length of time. And honestly, I feel like this, and this is gonna be real controversial. Okay.
Okay.
If you don't know what you're doing after 9 months, let it go.
You said controversial. Why do you think that's controversial?
Because people feel like you need 2 or 3 years to really know if you want to marry somebody. No, you don't. I say the reason why 9 months is because in 6 months, the real person is there and they cannot keep up the consistency of being fake with you. So those next 90 days after the 6 month cliff, he used to call you, don't call you anymore. He used to come by. He was blowing your phone up. Everything settled in, and that's your real person. That's how they've trained you to show you what every day with them looks like. And if you are disappointed with the result of that 6 month to 9 month window, that's what you would have to say to yourself. Am I willing to put up with this 90-day representative that he has shown me or she has shown me who she truly is for the rest of my life? And if your answer to that is no, and you can't deal, then just be out now. And you just go harder the next time. Every relationship should give you enough information to say, I'm doing it better every time. And guess what you'll do is you won't start or you won't continue to keep choosing the same person over and over and over again. Because we attract who we are, not for where we want to be. So you get better and you attract better.
Absolutely. When for you, Eric, and I appreciate that, what would you think if you found your soulmate? What are the aspirations for that relationship? And how do you envision growing together? If you were just to, because I know you think that you said you have your soulmate, but again, that's an unavailable soul. So
unavailable, yeah.
What would you, for your new soulmate, or is it safe to say your husband? Because that's
new husband. We're gonna say new husband. So if you have somebody in your life or had persons, that's why you should be collecting like traits that you love, right? So if I had to label my current soulmate, one that got away person, the number 2 things that I think are so great about this person that I have to have, required to have these 2 traits in any future relationship, whether with a marriage, the person I married has to know
who you are,
who I am. Like, they've studied me, they've observed me, they have assessed me, and they know who I am, like how I tick. And the support, right? Because if you know who I am, you know how to support me. Me as a person, for all those potential think they want to be my man, guys out there. I require love because love is worth it, right?
Right.
But if you're the type of man who you think paying a bill for me, blowing up my phone all the time, me seeing your face every day is the thing that, and I need some D in my life, let's just keep it on 100 on that. If that's what you said, she just needs that, you're wrong. I don't need that. I want that. If you give me the love that I'm asking for, the love that I need, because all I need from you is love, right? I don't need things you can do. I just need you. I need your vulnerability. I need your openness. I need your transparency. And I need your honesty. And you give me those traits, guess what? You're gonna pay all the bills. You're gonna show up all the time. I'm gonna see your face. You're gonna give me quality time. You're gonna give me support. You're gonna give me all that because you gave me the things that were harder to get to, which is getting to you, getting to know you, right? And guess what you're gonna get? You're gonna get the cooking, you're gonna get the cleaning, you're gonna get all the bedroom life, you get all that stuff. But if you just come in and say, because that's the girls you're used to, that because you bought purses, bags, you bought cars and shoes and clothes and all that, that is the thing to get at me, you're gonna miss me completely.
Sounds like you're talking to somebody. You drop the mic and drop the message. This is a lot.
You can get those other women with that though. There's plenty out there. Women need help. I don't need your help. I want your help. But I just want your help to help me become a better woman, grow with me, transition with me, go through life with me, do life with me, and experience me, and allow me to experience you. And we'll get all the things that everybody else is getting anyway.
So I have a concluding question that just hit me straight off, not on the script or anything. Is there a woman that you see out public or even private that you could even mention that you see that woman as someone who has an ideal soulmate or marriage that you would like to model off of? Anybody you think of?
There isn't a woman that has an ideal marriage that I would have because I would create that with the person I'm supposed to be with. But
Right.
there are several women in my life that have traits of a marriage that being around them, experiencing their marriage has helped me to become that better future wife. As a matter of fact, I will name 4 people. And one key thing I love about their marriage that they don't even know they taught me to be a better one. My friend Beth, the way she is submissive towards her husband and in her attempt to do, he don't even need all that, by the way. But her desire, it's a desire for her to make his life easy, to make his life comfortable, to express her, that's how she expresses her love to him in everything that she does, whether it's not only making dinner and fixing a plate, but whatever he needs her for, whatever he asks her to do, she's willing and she desires to do it. She wants to do it, right? And just seeing how doting she is. And one thing that, I mean, how many women would you know or think about that would put flowers and keep the memory of your former late spouse as a bright bulb? Real courage. My friend Lori, what I love about her marriage is the support that she gives her spouse and the support she receives from her spouse. There's not a dream or an endeavor that they have not been there for. And they speak so well of each other when they're not around that you know they do it when they are because of what they say about one another. My friend Terrell, I was with her and her husband, and I said, you're maybe a better wife because not only do they speak well of each other, I could tell and define the 3 traits that she has about, that she loves about him by asking just a few questions. And the things that she was drawn to was things that people wouldn't even know. Like, it wasn't that it was something so flashy. It was just like, she loved how he treated other women, other people's children, how he treated her children. He was honest and he said, listen, this is my background, this is what I want, this is who I want, whatever.
Right.
And then she can trust him, like her trustworthiness. And then the last person I'll say is my mom. no matter what my dad has put her through, which is so many things over 46 years of my life. And that's saying a lot. And my mom, they have 7 children, okay?
Wow.
No matter what life has been, my mom has held it down. They put up with each other. And let me just tell you, the spouses, you put up with each other. There's no one side to this thing.
Okay.
And so even when women are out there looking at other people's relationships or looking at other things and like, I won't put up with that. You don't live there. You don't know what's going on in the house. And you don't know what she deals with. You just know what he tells you. We'll get into it when we talk about those side chicks in a future episode, whatever.
Chicken McNuggets. All right, I like that.
That's right. But yeah, so all those women have taught me to be a better wife. And just like when you learn something great about something, like I said, it's that future relationship that I'm not in yet. That's going to be the woman that I'm going to marry the most.
All right. Okay. Well, you want to let them know what's going on next time? I mean, this is another great episode about that soulmate search. And I hope that everyone finds that soulmate and also the person they're going to be with forever as they open up and they work on themselves first. Because you work on yourself and your own soul, you attract who you are, where you are, and what you truly desire, which is the best. What's going on next week? What should everyone expect?
Next week, we are talking about, are you a side chick or a side distraction?
Really? That's what's going to be next? All right. Are you a side chick or a side what?
Side distraction.
Are you a side? Well, I think that if you anything on the side is a distraction. You're driving and you see something, it's a distraction. So we'll just have to dig deeper into that and also hear from the audience. But you guys need to like and subscribe to the Purpose and Powerful podcast. I'm here with our host, Erica Lester, and I'm your whole host, The Real Jurbil. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great night.